condors carry the power of the wind, they also carry the honor and the power of the people.
The power of the condor was legendary to the native people of California. This sacred bird, they believed, cleaned the land and carried spirits on its wings. For Mati Waya, a ceremonial leader and dolphin dancer of the Chumash tribe, the battle to save the California condor is a sacred duty. His organization, called the Wishtoyo Foundation, has joined the fight to bring the legendary thunderbird back from the brink of extinction.
When you think of the condor and how it's been here as long as the Chumash people, you know, we think of how us as modern-day Chumash people need to re-identify ourselves. So to see the condor soar again, it gives us hope.
For many California Bay Area tribes, the condor is a symbol of creation and healing. Now, it's up to humanity to heal the condor. Biologist Kelly Sorensen and the field team from the Ventana Wildlife Society are out to perform a checkup on a captured condor.
Today we have a nearly 10-year-old male California condor that was trapped a few days ago so that we could take a blood sample and determine if there's any lead in the blood of that bird.
This X-ray of a deer shot by a bullet reveals lead fragments visible as tiny black specks from the bullet slug.
Condors are obligate scavengers, so they're not out there killing anything. They're only eating the remains of dead animals. When an animal is shot with a lead bullet, oftentimes those fragments will be left behind in those carcasses.
So when these scavengers eat carcasses shot with lead bullets, they can get poisoned. California condors once scavenged over a range that stretched from Canada to Mexico. But decades of hunting after the gold rush and loss of wild habitat drove the birds nearly to extinction.
We've now come to realize that lead poisoning has also played a significant role in the decline of the species.
By the 1980s, even though hunting condors had been banned, only 22 condors survived and just 9 of those remained in the wild. It was then that federal biologists made the critical decision to capture the last free condors. Captive breeding programs have produced more than 420 condors in California, Utah, Arizona, and other parts of the West. But since 1992, more than 50 wild condors have died from lead poisoning. At that rate, without help, scientists say the species will never recover.
We have a field crew that works incredibly hard all year round to constantly monitor birds. And the other big component of what they do is to try to trap every individual at least once a year, just so that we can determine if they're suffering from lead poisoning.
To treat a condor with lead poisoning requires an aggressive medical process called chelation.
So when lead enters the bloodstream, it blocks neurological receptors that control the digestive system. So literally what happens is the bird starves to death because it doesn't know that it's hungry. Chelation grabs a hold of that lead and then allows the animal to excrete it out naturally.
We now know through scientific testing that the isotopes that are found in lead ammunition are the same isotopes found in the condor's blood. So now let's move from that and work on a solution.
Former California Assemblyman Pedro Nava wrote a bill that became law in 2007. It banned the use of lead ammunition in the condor's main habitat, from roughly Monterey to Ventura County. Today, the bird's range is expanding, with sightings of condors in Bay Area counties like Alameda, Santa Clara, and San Mateo. Condor populations also exist in Baja, Arizona, and southern Utah, where in 2014, the state's first condor chick hatched in the wild. But condors are still dying from lead poisoning. As a result, Governor Jerry Brown signed a new law in 2013, supported by environmental groups, that bans the use of lead bullets for hunting everywhere in California. But some hunters, such as Bill Gaines of Sacramento, oppose the ban and see it as a burden to a community that provides an important source of funding for wildlife conservation.
revenue generated by the sale of hunting licenses, stamps, tags, and the various other permits. That generates $20 million last year to the state of California alone for wildlife-related habitat. If hunting goes away, we're going to lose that. Requiring non-lead bullets in the state of California is going to put an unnecessary hardship on California's hunters. It's going to drive the price of ammunition right through the roof. Many within the hunting community won't be able to afford that.
Bullets made with copper and other non-toxic metals are generally more expensive than lead ammunition, and they may also be harder to come by, Gaines says.
Today I'm shooting my 30-06, which is arguably the most common caliber for big game. And as a result, it's the one that most likely has the non-toxic loads available. Had to pay about twice the price for them, but I had to call around to find where they were and I could pick them up.
To give manufacturers time to scale up the production of non-toxic hunting ammunition, the California Fish and Game Commission has until 2019 to enforce the lead bullet ban. But Gaines wonders if this statewide ban will actually keep lead out of condors.
There's no question that lead is poisoning California condors. The jury is still out, we believe, on just what the source of that lead is. There's no lead ammunition being shot in the California condor range, but the condors are still showing up with lead poisoning.
Lead poisoning is the leading cause of death for condors. And for scientists like Kelly Sorensen, the source of this lead is clear.
We've found evidence of fragments from rifle slugs in the digestive system of condors.
2.7. So low lead means good news and we can let this guy free.
1, 2, 3.
Condor cams at the Ventana Wildlife Society Sanctuary in Big Sur and the San Diego Zoo provide a window online for the public to see how these critically endangered birds live in the wild and in captivity.
We want the condors to be the way they were once before and flying on their own, breeding on their own.
We honor the spirits of those that have left this world, including the condor. These mountains and hills are still shaped the same way as they were 10,000 years ago. And just like their ancestors, they'll find their way.